Our speaker is Liz Wagger, the part of Junior Achievement of Greater Washington, and she will discuss a little bit more about what that is and what she does for it. Liz?
Hello. I met every one of you. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. So what you were just talking about very much resonated as far as club. So one of the things about me that's actually not on there is that in 2 months, I'm going to be elected president of my synagogue. And so it's budgets and it's, membership and I love the 4-way test. Are we doing the right thing for the right reasons? So I appreciate everything that a service club and group of like-minded individuals struggle with all the time. How to keep it vibrant, how to keep it interesting, how to keep it relevant in your lives. So you all are doing good work, of course, and that's why we're here to do good work. So a little bit about me. I've lived in this area since 1993. I'm from Northern New Jersey. My 3 sons, I have a 20-year-old, an 18-year-old, 14-year-old, and they are all going through the Montgomery County public school system. And my oldest is at University of Maryland, and my other one's going to go there. Yay, in-state tuition. I'm very happy. We're very lucky to have a great educational system, and I'm benefiting from it. My taxes at work. I have been in the financial industry since 2014. I was in financial advising. I love helping people, but it's heavy sales. It's like, nah, not for me. How can I still do financial literacy, but not have to do heavy sales? So I found Junior Achievement at Greater Washington. And of course, I'll go into that a little bit of what we do and what our mission is. And fun fact, if you Google me, you might find that I'm in the Internet Movie Database. I have a friend who makes movies and I've helped be a producer. That means donate money to his cause. So I'm a producer in the Internet Movie Database. I don't get any residuals, nothing, zeros there. All right. Yep, that's forward, backward. Okay. Wonderful. So a little bit about Junior Achievement, and then I'll go into our programs and impact. And then I'll talk about getting involved, of course. That is a photo of a bunch of volunteers at our JA Finance Park in Prince George's County. We have some beautiful facilities, and we get to talk about them in a little bit. It's all about Junior Achievement. So before I start, I'll go to the next slide to see the picture up there. 1 or 2 of you have already said, oh, I know Junior Achievement. So Linda, I'm going to call on you. Can you tell me a little bit about your involvement or history or knowledge of Junior Achievement?
I can remember even when I was young on Long Island that there were people in Junior Achievement making businesses and doing projects. I've always heard of it, but I haven't been involved in it. But, it has a positive flow.
That's a positive flow. Oh, I hear that. Anyone else have any interaction or knowledge of Junior Achievement? Yes.
One of my sons was involved with Junior Achievement here in the public schools in Montgomery County. It's now 40 years ago, I guess. And he actually ended up making a game using the skills from the wood shop and so on to them, and they were going to produce this as a product.
Yeah.
Really Junior Achievement process.
Absolutely. Little history. That's exactly what Junior Achievement had been and still is for many, many years. So 1919, when was Rotary Club founded? Quiz. Anyone have the knowledge of when Rotary Club?
1904.
You got us beat by 15 years. Another long-lived, wonderful organization. So Junior Achievement started in 1919 with that mission. How do we train the next generation of business owners, of people who are going to bring products and production and growth to America, basically? That's how Junior Achievement was formed. And now we have grown to be a very large organization. And not only do we still focus on that entrepreneurship spirit, we also focus on financial literacy and workplace readiness, workplace and life skills. That's kind of what we do. I think look at that. I wasn't even looking at my slide and I got it down right. Work readiness, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. I love that picture. It says the Junior Achievement Mechanical Club. I love that. Like birds. I see a bird, something that looks like a bird nest there. Okay, lovely. Oops, I keep going the wrong way. Down this forward. Okay. So 1919 we started, and junior achievement basically started with that. We're going to make products, we're going to join factories, we're going to sell things and get that new generation going on. But there's been a shift. Again, 40 years ago, it was all about making products. I've had friends come out of the woodwork saying, you see this cookie sheet? This is a junior achievement cookie sheet. I remember making a clock. My grandmother still has that clock on her mantle. So it's all of that for about 50 plus years. Then starting in the 70s and 80s, we started moving into the financial literacy space. Company program, which is the original program, was basically an after-school club sponsored by groups like this, sponsored by adults in the neighborhood, so to speak, who wanted to develop students. But then Junior Achievement said, we need to start reaching students younger and teaching them the fundamentals of financial literacy. So since the 70s and 80s, we've moved into those workspaces. So now, instead of just an after-school program, we're developing curriculum that goes into the school systems. So I'm jumping ahead in my mind, but for instance, Junior Achievement of Greater Washington has true partnerships with Montgomery County Public School System, Prince George's County Public School System, and Fairfax County in Virginia. We deliver them 14 hours of in-class curriculum for their middle school students for financial literacy. I'm jumping ahead, but so we're now in the classroom. We have true partnerships. We meet state standards of what their curriculum needs to be regarding financial literacy. So we're working in true partnerships with the school systems. So that's a big change from the earlier company program. But again, it's a change. We felt that America needs this. Let's do this. So we've done that. Then there's Junior Achievement Worldwide. I'm going to do a little humble brag there. Junior Achievement was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize, the worldwide one, in 2002. We didn't win, but 2023, we're also nominated for our work in countries, over 100 countries, worldwide. We serve it says over 15 million, but I think we serve about 18 million students a year worldwide. Some old pictures and very fun stuff. I found that book. There's a book, Junior Achievement. I didn't buy it, but there's a book online, Junior Achievement History. I should get a little bit about Junior Achievement of Greater Washington. We were founded in 1965. And again, it was that after-school company program. I know you can't see what's there, but there's a bunch of teenagers standing with the Washington Monument in the background. That's up there. And then below is a ribbon cutting. I think that's Mark Elrich on the right. This was a few years ago. So what we've done in the DC area, all of our experiences are just that, hands-on experiences. It's one thing to learn in a book. It's another thing to actually practice what you're learning. So we really believe in that. So we put our money where our mission is, and we've partnered again with these 3 school systems to build out what we call JA Finance Park. It looks like an indoor shopping mall, and it has corporate partners. You saw that earlier picture, you maybe saw Geico in the background. These are all familiar brands to our students. And the reason familiar brands are important is because when they go out in the real world, they'll have to make decisions about what insurance are they going to buy? Are they going to Geico or something else? What do all these businesses represent in their future financial lives? So we've takes money and effort and to build these physical parks where those students, after those 14 hours of in-class curriculum, every 8th grade student in those Maryland counties and every 7th grade student in Fairfax will come through the JA Finance Park facility for an in-class budgeting simulation. They're sitting there with a tablet saying, I'm an IT professional. I make $50,000. I'm married and have a child. Now I have to buy groceries, buy health insurance. And, do I want to take a vacation? How much is that going to cost? It's a real intense budgeting simulation. I'm jumping ahead because I love JA Finance Park. Another thing we're doing, again, the teenagers in the top picture are all in our high school program. So now we're in high schools with that whole work readiness, work preparedness, life skills type of curriculum. So it's not a club in a high school. It's actually part of the high school curriculum in Washington, D.C. and Prince George's County, where we give the students, teams of students, an actual business challenge. And one of the real ones that just happened was, so Arby's, right? Good brand. We've got the meats if you actually eat at Arby's. And they asked these high school students, how do we attract 13 to 17-year-olds? That's a market where we haven't tapped. How do we do that? So now these students have to figure out, what is Arby's? Where are they? What are their locations? What are their demographics? What do they serve? How do they market? They're doing all of this research. They're coming up with a budget. If we think marketing to 17-year-olds through social media, how much is that going to cost? So they're doing all of this real world research, and then they work collaboratively. Then they also have to make presentations, and everyone has to present. You can't just designate one person. Everyone has to learn those public speaking skills. And it gets them ready for the real world. How to collaborate, how to do a PowerPoint presentation, how to do research, how to make a presentation to a group of business people in the room. And one of the main tenets of this, when I said business people in the room, it's the volunteers. We don't just go in there and junior achievement staff delivers these programs. We have volunteers because we really believe that business people with real life experience, real world jobs, have a lot to give to these students. Hi, I work for Junior Achievement. I didn't tell you what I do. I'm a volunteer engagement manager. This is the type of job you can have. You like working with people. You like that sales component of trying to convince people to come and volunteer. This could be a job for you. They never knew that job existed until I volunteered. So it's part of that real world knowledge. And I like to joke with them when they're budgeting and what kind of car they want to buy. I like to say, I want a Maserati. I have a minivan. These are the choices we make. You can't buy a sports car when you have 3 sons and you need the minivan to haul them to college. So, you have these realities in life and you get to bring that real world experience. I'm just going to say it out loud because it's right on the screen. Our vision is to ensure that every student, all these students are 100% inspired, prepared, and eventually employed. That's the goal. I already gave you half my slides because I was just so excited about it. So I mentioned JA Finance Park. Here's some pictures of some students and some volunteers. So you see the volunteer on the bottom right is actually standing with the students. They have a tablet in hand and they're working through that budgeting simulation. Again, it's hands-on financial literacy, and they learn to make those decisions regarding their budget. What is a debit card versus credit card? Right? How are you going to manage this? When they get their scenario, it's like, oh, I have $10,000 in credit card debt. How am I going to pay that off? It's in the simulation because these are real world experiences. So we're very proud of this finance park. Excuse me? What?
I say the kids say, you mean I have to pay that back?
Yeah, you do. You have to teach them how to do that. I already told you we're in the 3 counties. We're actually building out a new facility in Washington, D.C. up 16th Street, one of those old, early, again, like Rotary Club era, Washington JA early era buildings that we've totally gutted. And we're going to make this big technologically advanced, cool building that students are going to love to come in for their JA Finance Park experience. So looking forward to that. We also do, I mentioned the high school students, entrepreneurship pathway. We still have the original company program where students are going to an organization or a club after school. They don't go into factories and build clocks anymore. They're not doing wood shop. They're ordering t-shirts online. They're selling them. They're marketing them on social media. So they are still building companies and still selling products. And at the end of the year, they do a national competition of companies, which is fabulous. And they also have an exit plan. They have to sell their business and donate it to charity. All the proceeds go to charity or paying for their bills and then, going to charity. So exciting. But I didn't have a slide on company program, but I have a slide on 3DE. That's what the high school experience is called. I like to say it's 3-dimensional education, but I can't say that because I don't know, I guess we don't have the copyright on that. So 3DE is what it's called. And again, it's all experiential. It's all hands-on. We're going to do the work. We're not just going to read about the work. We have to do the work. And again, it's all to prepare students for their hopefully future work life. We actually have these schools, Potomac High School and Surrattsville High School are in Prince George's County. Duluth High School is in DC. We actively look for schools that are underachieving. where students are not coming to class, they're cutting class. How do we get them motivated to want to stay in class, be part of this exciting group? You mean I get to make a presentation in front of Arby's executives? Blows your mind. That's the type of experience they have. And again, with this whole 3DE model, which is still pretty new, we are finding they're staying in school, they're interested, and they're coming out of it with real world connections, networking, right? They have people to talk to, they have mentors. It's very hands-on, and it's keeping the students interested and engaged in high school. And yes, they probably read Mark Twain, and they have some math classes too. It's all of it's integrated. So yes. All right, next slide. What I have next. JA Entrepreneurship Summit is a week-long summer camp, boot camp for high school students. It's like JA company program, in that they come up with a business idea, they plan the marketing, they plan the business idea, and at the end of the week, they actually dress up in suits and skirts, and actually all the girls wear sneakers. Nobody wears heels anymore. It's very cute to see 16-year-old girls in sneakers and skirts. It's very sweet. But they come and it's a competition. It's a pitch competition. Definitely not like Shark Tank. I mean, they're not sharks in the room, but they're making their pitch. It's a competition. And so they're excited. They're engaged. They want to do this competition. They want to see how they do. So they're not making the t-shirts or making the company, but they're taking a week to kind of plan on it. All right. What is the impact? Dun, dun, dun. So a lot of good impact. There's a slide. I'm just going to read certain things. So the last school year, we served over 51,000 students in the DC area. 51,000 students came through JA Finance Park experience. Now, some of that was COVID related, right? Some of that was virtual. We pivoted, of course, during COVID, but we've been back in person all year, which is fabulous. I'm just saying we have a major impact. And although I don't have it on the slides, I can tell you that all the research shows that JA alumni, JA students who go through this program feel more purposeful, feel more inspired, feel more prepared to tackle their future lives. So yay, JA, just a big plug. Big plug for JA, we love it. Did you know? Sorry for all the small print there, but lots of connection between Rotary and junior achievement. Who knew? I can't even read my own slides, but there's some promotion of a Rotary Club in North Carolina on the left. The Guam news is from Guam. We're in the U.S. territories. Again, we're JA worldwide. South Georgian Bay Rotary Club. I can't even read my slides. Hanover, Pennsylvania. There's another one, bottom right. You can, but I just wanted to show that there has been a tradition of our organizations supporting each other because we all do good work.
Is that Salisbury?
I think it's Salisbury.
One up there in the upper right?
The upper right. Can you?
Salisbury.
Yes. Yes. So that's on the junior achievement website. The others were all on Rotary Club websites. The one on the right, the one that you have to see the little junior achievement arrow on the top left, that was because the Rotary Club, yes, of Salisbury and Maryland supported us financially. So they were a sponsor.
Nice.
I put that out there. Yeah. Sorry it's so small, but I just wanted to shove it all in there. It's like, look at all these great things.
It's an eye test.
An eye test. Tell me about it. I keep going the wrong way. I'm not used to the clicker. Okay, a whole bunch of words on the screens. Basically, there were lots of ways to get involved with junior achievement. So I'll tell you a little bit about our volunteers. We have 3 types of volunteers. First, we ask the parents of the students who are coming to Finance Park if they want to come, and it's not even chaperone, it's volunteer. So some schools, lots of parents want to come. Lots of parents can be involved, take the day off of work, come volunteer. Other schools, the parents can't take time off of work. They're just not as involved. So we need to go out into the community to ask for volunteers. So what I do on a day-to-day basis is I call companies. I ask companies to come and volunteer as a group. Come, we need 25 volunteers at each of these parks, each school day, basically. Do you want to come as a group? So we'll have KPMG come as a group. We'll have, actually on Monday, I'm very excited to announce this, we have the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, if that impresses anybody, the U.S. Department of the Treasury. The acting comptroller is coming to actually be there with 20 other OCC members.
There's some new sheets of dollar bills.
I wish. It's going to crack the whip on the banks.
Teach you how to break the cycle.
But But he is going to talk.
The budget fresh.
What a comptroller does, US banking system. Again, all these students will be banking one day, right? We have bank partners in those parks as well. Apple Federal Credit Union, Capital One, Truist. They're all in those parks because these are the types of brands the students see every day. So yes, we have corporate partners who come and volunteer. There's no cost to volunteering. Again, time is money. We know that. And then we have community members who are often retirees. Anyone in this room a retiree? We just had our volunteer appreciation event yesterday morning, and we honored Marvin Lynch, who comes to our Montgomery County Park. Marvin retired about 4 years ago, and he and his wife were part of a financial ministry through their church. They said, what else can I do? I wanted to be a teacher. I didn't become a teacher. How can I get involved with students? So it's a perfect match for Marvin's skills and what he wants to do. He's donated 99 hours so far this school year. 99 hours. He's our top volunteer. And he's just a retired guy who said, I want to give back. So thank you, Marvin.
And what is he doing, roughly speaking?
So let me tell you quickly about what the volunteer opportunity is. So at our JA Finance Park, basically it's about a 5-hour commitment. It's a day. You come around 8:30 in the morning, you get some coffee, you meet some people, you have about an hour of training. You don't have to teach any lessons, but you do have to guide the students and be aware of what they're doing next. So they have their tablets. So it basically gives you an hour of the training, and then you get a storefront of students of about 5 to 10. You're at the top of 5 to 10 students, and you help guide them through a simulation. And you have a lunch break, and students walk around the park and they go shopping. So yes, it's a full day. It's a good day. It ends around between 1 and 2:30, depending on the school. So yeah, think about it, hint, hint. So those are the 3 types of volunteers that we need. And then of course, there's always, we're a nonprofit too. We're very lucky to have corporate donors, but we also, of course, like everyone else, need money to make our world go round. We need volunteers, and then we need money, I think, in that. So yes, that's what we do. Help us change the world. That's really all I got today. I just wanted to show you where our parks are. So if you were, let's say, to want to volunteer at JA Finance Park in Montgomery County, we're in Silver Spring, just near the corner of, go north on Connecticut Avenue, hang a right at, Randolph Road. We're right behind Wheaton High School. So there's Wheaton High School, and then there's Thomas Edison High School of Technology.
We do a program with Thomas Edison.
Well, we're at the top floor.
Yeah.
Walk a few stairs, you get upstairs. It's exactly where we are. I think that's all I have. Does anyone have questions? Yes.
We all have a huge problem of litters, especially in America's inner cities.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very few school systems have students performing up to expected levels. And this pertains to general literacy, and it pertains to math.
Mm-hmm.
The situation seems atrocious. So my question is that a problem for what you're attempting to do, that is to promote financial literacy?
The only issues we've run into has been non-English speakers, English language learners. We do not have, we have a mostly Spanish-speaking immigrant population when they come here, and we don't have these particular materials in Spanish. So one thing I didn't mention, because I was all over the map, JAUSA actually provides all the curriculum for a bazillion, I'm exaggerating, bazillion programs. And every individual JA chapter, JA office, says, what does our community need? So the needs in Bozeman, Montana are very different than the needs here in the DC area. So in the DC area, we have, a very dense population that can support these financial park build outs and getting into the school system. But in other schools, we're actually in elementary schools where a volunteer will go in and do what's called JA in a day, which we have, JA economics, JA all about cars, JA in our city. And these are geared towards elementary school students, right? But then you go in basically and a volunteer would go in, talk about who they are, how they function in the community, and why it's important for the students to learn what's in the community. And those are actually in Spanish, but we haven't run into students who are participating who are having the English literacy issues. We do have some basic math issues and some people don't capture them. They
Well, hit your class assignment. Tons of schools have less than, like 10% literacy and really less math ability. How can you expect them to do any financial literacy? If they don't even have the basics of math and English. And we're talking about American.
Right.
So
Again, we don't work on the whole English language or math skill literacy. But we do find with our programs in the elementary school and with the middle school program that this makes students feel like they're a part of the community, a part of the economy. It gets them interested and engaged in this is what my future could be like. I'm going to be a worker one day. I'm going to have to pay my bills one day. So it's more of those general concepts and general knowledge about I'll need to pay my bills one day. How am I going to be a part of the society in the future? But no, it doesn't actively address the English and the math.
Kevin,
Yeah.
I had a question. About 10 years ago or so, we took our son to college his freshman year, and they had tables set up as you walked into the school, and they were basically giving out credit cards to anybody, and you get a T-shirt. So if you want the T-shirt, basically they would. I think they've banned that practice now, but it was. And then 4 years later, these kids have $10,000 in credit card debt. So does your program address that? Is there something?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll say it does. It doesn't direct it directly. It doesn't say when you go to college, you're going to have a problem, credit card. But it shows them what happens when they have credit card debt. They have to pay it off in their monthly budget. It shows them how expensive kids are. You can't get the Maserati. You have to afford the minivan. Some of them have to realize they can't afford the car insurance and the gas. So they end up buying one car and the other spouse takes public transportation. So this gets them understanding how expensive the world is and that if they're budgeting, they can't necessarily afford everything they want.
But
so hopefully that sticks when they get their credit card and realize it's not free money. I'm going to have to pay that off.
I think the banks have a lot of responsibility.
I think the credit card comes
And
first.
the credit card companies.
Credit card comes first, and then they deal with paying it later.
Yeah, it's free. Yeah, it's just.
Now I took my,
I don't think they do that anymore.
So anyway, thank you for the talk. It was
Thank
very
you.
interesting.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate the work you're doing.
Thank you. If you want to call email, please have
Myself, felt like I became financially literate because I didn't have any type of program like this to help me. Somehow I think some of these things become innate. People just feel like they have to know that, but I'm sure there are people who doesn't come quite that easily to that. And this program is something that can help a lot of people in our community and the world. So we appreciate the work. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.